Start like you intend to finish. Hi guys, I'm Michael for the 101 Connection, Australia's premier online radio station for business shows, lifestyle shows and great music. Obviously chosen by me, that's why it's great. But yeah, so some of the advice that we share on the radio, and I try to distill it, especially when I do mentorship with people, and this is the starting point. If you can get this right, all the other pieces fall over like dominoes. It's really, really easy, eh? And it's start like you intend to finish. So what do I mean by that? Look, first of all, too many people start on the management route, get themselves a business coach, and they're looking at, costs of goods. They're looking at, how do I get more leads? How do I get more better conversions? I increase the average dollar value of my sales, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's fine, but you're starting from the bottom. And you're trying to work upwards, and that's really, really hard work. And if you're finding it hard and finding it a struggle, this is probably the reason why. My strategy is when I work with people, I mentor them, and when I set up any of my companies, we set up 3 companies last year, I set up 2 companies this year. No, I don't run them. Other people run them for me. All those people who are trying to be managers run them. I just manage the mission, which is your job, to manage the mission. And what is the mission? And this is what I say. What I mean by start like you intend to finish is, what does it look like at the end? A few of you know I do portrait painting as a portrait artist. And I had a few of my artist friends say, how come you're in this game for 6 months and already turning over a living on it, and we've been in it for years, and personally we're better artists than you, Michael, and we're not making anything? Because I set myself what it was going to look like in the end. I actually said on this one that I'd love to have one of my pieces auctioned at Sotheby's, and I'd like to have one of my pieces, I live in Australia, I'd like it in the Archibald Prize because I do portraits. So really big, ambitious goals, eh? But then what that allowed me to do was say, if I'm aiming at that level, what is the expectation from those people at that level? How would they expect my website to look? How would they expect my content to be? How would they expect my portraits to be labeled? I'm not on about the artwork itself. I'm on about some of the non-written rules around it. If you're going to be, I don't know, in any business, say you're in real estate, and you say, well, I'm in the professional service business, everything just runs on me, so my earning capacity is limited to me. But there is a saying that, people who teach earn more than people that do. So if you're in real estate and you're really good and you've developed your own, methodologies, you've developed your own language patterns and your own speech patterns, and your own phraseology, and you're good at what you do, you could actually design a business and say, my real estate business is actually bigger than just selling real estate. It is helping other real estate agents become super successful. Now, this is just one area. You could actually be teaching real estates to sell real estate. You could be teaching people how to invest in real estate. You could be teaching people how to flip houses in real estate. You could be teaching people how to buy the worst house in the street, renovate it, and make a fortune along the way. But these types of businesses are scalable and internationable. Is that a word? It is now. But when you start at that level, when you start at the top, you start asking questions from the top down, not from the bottom up. Don't ask your questions from the bottom up, guys. Don't ask them in traditional management style questions. Be the CEO. Be innovative. Manage the mission. What's the mission? And then ask your questions from that. And I'm telling you, everything starts falling into place. Everything does. Stop asking questions from the bottom up. Start asking questions from the top down. In other words, start like you intend to finish. Look, if you enjoy this kind of stuff, you can listen to radio stations. Oh yeah, and I do mentorship, so you can jump on the101connection.com.au, and if you want to have a session with me, hey, fantastic. But other than that, why don't you just click the link, download the radio station, you can get the app, and you can listen online. Great business shows, great advice from people like Alex Hormozi, Anton Vincino, Myron Gold is on there, This Philosophy with Josiah Bryant. We got some sailing channels on there with the Sailing Show. Heaps of stuff, and art shows, of course, and great music as well. We'd love to have your company on the 101 Connection, connecting you to success.